Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about the real reason Cannock Chase exists and what's really going on with the structures and the Bigfoot stories that we hear, the sightings, etc. from Cannock Chase. I'm going to show you today why I believe Cannock Chase is a druidic grove, a ritual ground, and I will explain briefly, although it's a huge subject, and I have to make a few more videos about it, how the Druidic religion is Judaism, and Judaism is the Tengri religion, and the teepee structures I will show you are actually tabernacles, improvised temples or shrines made by the priests according to very specific rules. That's why Cannock Chase exists, because Cannock Chase has been there for hundreds of years, and it's a heathland. A heath is where the pagans perform their rituals. And that's why they're called heathens, because they used to perform them on the heath. Anyway, there's a lot to this. I'm going to just start off by showing you a place called the O'Leary Education Centre, which is basically a druidic school, which is used as a cover for the druidic practices that go on there by local covens of witches. This green area here will be Cannock Chase, and I just noticed Tolkien Trail, Birmingham. Well, Tolkien is definitely from Birmingham, but during the First World War he did his basic training on Cannock Chase. It just so happens that Tolkien was obsessed with magic and was actually a member of the Golden Dawn Lodge, which is the Rothschilds Illuminati lodge. So he was probably up there on Cannock Chase doing training or some kind of druidic business under the cover of being in the army. Anyway, we're going to start off with the O'Leary Centre, which is this druidic school I was talking about in the middle of Cannock Chase in Marquis Drive near Hensford.
Little squizzer. So this looks like the other side of that O'Leary Education Centre. Locked up nice and tight. Security pretty tight around it. Look at all the steel fence going all around the other side as well. So yeah, something about the O'Leary Education Centre they don't want people to see. I just heard a chainsaw. They're working. They've got cars and vehicles. I'm going to show you the entrance in a minute. You'll see that it's full of vehicles. So while everybody else is under lockdown, these guys are busy doing stuff. Lockdown doesn't apply to them. What are they up to? Look at that. Two levels of security fences. Steel fence over there, and then this kind of buffer zone, and then another steel fence. This is high security, guys.
Found this nearby. Typical teepee structure with this central support beam and then the others leaning up against it. The whole forest is littered with these things. I mean, the whole of Cannock Chase is a giant ritual ground for the Druids. John O'Leary Education Centre. So, within this perimeter of steel fencing, Staffordshire County Council, we have a Ranger's office and works unit. So that would be all the chainsaws and all that going on. Then you also have the John O'Leary Education Centre. What got my interest was that the forest in that little border, fenced off, was full of these teepee structures. It was like a museum or something, like full of teepee structures. So I knew this must be where they were learning how to make them. So I'm pointing the camera through the fence.
Right, we're in.
They left the gate open and I just dashed in real quick. That's why
I'm a bit shaky. Didn't want to get caught. You see the holly tree there? Druidic evergreen tree. And they've been having the children in here, making these structures. This gate here doesn't look particularly fancy or anything, and you probably don't think there's anything occult about it, but this is the symbol of Pi, and temples in the Far East always have a gate that is in this shape. So it's got a lintel across the top, like cross member or whatever you call it. So this is the entrance to basically a woody grove where they're building all these tabernacles, which is like shrines or sacrificial altars. So that's why it's this shape. There we go, look, there's the wooden gate. You see, it's the Pi. Same in China, they have exactly the same shape. This is why God wrote the commandments on tablets of stone. A tablet, that's a table of stone. Supposedly how you can tell the future or whatever, God's will or whatever is from the zodiac. Every temple in Japan or China, Far East, has this type of gate. And this is the same with Stonehenge, this one across the top and the two supporting it. These are the tablets of stone, because a tablet is a diminutive form of table of stone.
And in Rome, originally they had 10 months. That's why it would be written on 10 tablets of stone, 10 commandments, 10 months of the year. You see, it's all about the zodiac.
So this is within the perimeter fence. We got in, and it's just full of these structures, these tabernacles, that's what they are. So we went for a wander around Cannock Chase, and we just found, everywhere we looked, we found tabernacles. This one was particularly interesting, because it had a gibbet associated with it. That's a gibbet. Somebody's brought that in all the way, and it's also forming part of a pinned arch. So we got a teepee, tabernacle, we got a pinned arch, and we got a hangman's gibbet, a gallows. And there's a massive structure there that I noticed, but didn't actually get around to filming it. Somebody's brought this in a considerable distance because there isn't a car park nearby. This is after we'd wandered quite a way into the woods. Very strange. The reason they say that these big footprints are like barefoot prints is because if you read the instructions for how the priest is supposed to do the sacrifice in the tabernacle, he has to be barefoot. That's where that comes from. Okay, so this one here, it's got no entrance to it. It's not a shelter. This is an excerpt from Fraser's The Golden Bough. In the neighbourhood of Pilsen, Bohemia, a conical hut of green branches without any door is erected, and a frog flayer or hangman. On reaching the hut, the crier dismounts and goes round looking for a door. Finding none, and then it says here, when this is over, the frog slayer steps forward, sets up a gallows on which he hangs the frogs in a row. So this is the only reference to a gallows being associated with a teepee structure. This is from The Golden Bough by Fraser. And that sure looks like a gallows to me.
And it's extremely heavy. I couldn't budge it, so it definitely wasn't brought in by children building a den, for instance.
So the O'Leary Centre, Marquis Drive, near Rugeley. Situated in the heart of Cannock Chase, purpose-built education centre provides an ideal location for all your educational needs. Since opening in August 2000, many different organisations have taken advantage of the superb facilities and the surroundings. Funded by Staffordshire County Council, Natural England. The centre is fully equipped and complemented by the Cannock Chase Visitor Centre and Cafe. The Ranger Service provides the trained, knowledgeable staff who are experienced in dealing with school parties. So we're meant to believe that they bring in these school children, and what do they do there? They do pond dipping, mini beasts, and bushcraft. The bushcraft will be the teepee structures. That's what the lady said to me at the visitor centre. There you go, look, there's a picture of the children running in the woods. Running with joy, not running in terror. We hope. The team, Rowan Clark. And then we've got Carol Gordon. Carol is responsible for creating the very popular Fairy Village and sculpture walks on Cannock Chase. I think the Fairy Village is one of the teepee structure sites that I've already covered.
But you see the way that a pair of underpants or something been stuck up there. That's kind of weird, isn't it? A pair of knickers, ladies' knickers. By the look of it, eh? And they've stuffed another pair of knickers in there. Looks like young boys' pair of boys' underpants. So what that's all about, I don't know.
It's one of the investigations I did in Cannock Chase.
And the other one is Katie Busfield. She's another founder. Okay, so these three ladies are running this education centre, and all they have to do is take a bunch of children out into the woods and show them little flowers and how to make a teepee structure and all that. It's easy. Nice job. I mean, I've never met anybody who's ever been to this place. I've never known anybody whose kids have ever been there. Everybody's completely mystified that I ask what these structures are on Cannock Chase. It's kind of bunting, is it? There you go. They have exactly the same thing in Tibetan religion. Prayer flags. Why are they doing that? Here's them making a shelter, supposedly. She's tipping some water over it to test if it's watertight, which it won't be. Doesn't look very practical, and yet they built these things all. This is their wood, what they call it, bushcraft skills. It's completely not what it is.
So that's the woods that I got into there, filmed. You see, there she is. Lovely there in the woods. Notice that little girl had her hands up. The hand is a sign of Yod. There we go. Look, there's the evergreens with Santa Claus, all pagan. And this lady here, this is the MP Amanda Milling.
British Conservative Party politician. Alright, so she's an MP. Now here's the thing. She was born in Burton-upon-Trent in Staffordshire, privately educated. And then she studied economics and statistics at UCL, graduated in 1997. So she's probably quite bright. And then she joined the Conservative Party while she was at university. So she was still an undergraduate. She joined market research firm SW1 Research as an executive of a market research. This is basically a private data intelligence gathering firm, spy. And she was an executive. So an executive is a person with senior managerial responsibility in a business, relating to or having the power to put plans or actions into effect. She was put in charge of this market research company. She left the company 2 years later to join Questa, where she worked her way up to become a director. Then she worked as head of clients for Optimisa Research. These are all data gathering intelligence firms. She was elected as Conservative Councillor in 2009, while she was still working for Questa. And then she became Conservative MP for Cannock Chase. And everything else is pretty boring after that. I just thought it was very interesting that this woman appears at the O'Leary Centre, which is run by these three ladies. Now they are in the woods, you see. So this lady, Amanda Milling, so she's in the woods, checking up on what's going on. Here's another picture of more bunting. Here it's showing some kind of elf type of doll being placed inside a tree. I think Fraser mentioned that in one of the rituals. Okay, so I went onto YouTube, had a little look for this genius, Amanda Milling, who was put in charge of this marketing company, two marketing companies, straight out of university. Right.
Absolutely not. Cannock is the greatest constituency.
No. Cannock Chase is the greatest constituency in the country.
Cannock is the second greatest constituency in the country. After
We can share one thing though. Staffordshire's the best county.
I agree entirely.
Yeah. I mean, they're just messing around, but
Female prime
Pretty good.
well, for fair, she was one of the reasons why I went into politics.
Okay.
but neither of these people got anything intelligent to say. They're just complete twits.
Right. Okay. Now I'm feeling a bit under pressure.
She comes across as a moron. So she's such a high flyer and yet seems like a moron, but check this out. We go down here into the comment section. So this guy, Christopher Pincher, he's that moron there on the left. These are the comments. Just read that. So there's all this like perverted references going on here, right? But these two guys are like perverts, presumably. I mean, who looks at an MP and thinks about sex? Who looks at a politician and thinks about sex? But these guys are not only thinking about sex with an MP, which is perverted in itself, but they're talking about, like, what do you call it, sodomy with an MP. And this guy is such a pervert. He's actually given himself an obscene name for his channel. So let's have a look at this guy's channel. Oh, here we go. He's got a couple of uploads, a video game and Pizzagate Friends. There you go. So he's into Pizzagate and he's into witches, right? So this is a collection of house music, which is called Witch House. Then we've got Summer Solstice, Winter Solstice. So all occult movies and stuff. Look at this disgusting movie. This thing, absolutely best horror movie. So he's into witches.
Gorehounds agree. It's a great...
Perverted stuff and horror.
Gorehounds agree.
Okay. Pizzagate Friends. What's the Pizzagate reference?
Hi.
Hi.
One vegetarian pizza. It's $12.50.
Oh. By the way, if it makes you feel any better, I happen to like 8-year-old boys.
What? All I'm looking for is the money.
Now stop bringing us pizzas, you.
I'm gonna try.
What the fuck was that all about? Yeah. Something else I noticed about this Amanda Milling. There's not much good you can say about her, but you can find a few weird things about her. So check this out. She appears to shove Nigel Adams. Deputy Chief Amanda Milling appears to shove Conservative MP Nigel Adams back into his seat in the House of Commons. Amanda physically stops an MP from standing. The Commons was in session debating a proposed procedure to allow the House to pass a bill to prevent a no-Brexit deal without Parliament consent. Speaker of the House John Burkhoff asks the clerk to read the orders of the day. As soon as he does, some MPs begin to move around. To the left of the clerk, Nigel Adams, the MP, can be seen standing from his seat. As soon as he does, Miss Milling spots him and she lashes out and unceremoniously shoves him back into his bench. Even John Barkov does a little double take when he sees it.
So further points of order. The clerk will now proceed to read the orders of the day.
Census Return Particulars and Removal of Penalties Bill Committee.
Not move. Not move. Thank you. Order. We proceed from that piece of business to motion number 3 on election. We proceed from that piece of business to motion number 3 on election of select.
Now, at first, when I was looking at pictures of Amanda Milling, see this one here? Look, she's frowning. She's got this really unhappy face. And then she's frowning. But here, look, she's smiling. And I'll tell you why that is. It's not two different people, which I thought it was initially. She's had her teeth done. The reason she kept her mouth shut and was always frowning in these older photos was that she had really terrible, rotten teeth. A bit like the Queen Mother used to have. You know, you see these teeth and you think, gee whiz, this person's such a high achiever, such a high flyer, and why have they got teeth like some bum on Skid Row? But anyway, look, she's smiling all the time now because she's had her teeth done. So before it was kind of weird. If you saw, you saw that bit of footage from Parliament when she was shoving that other MP down. She's got this kind of grim frown all the time, and she's got this robotic movements and she kind of lurches and sort of, she's almost robotic, like a really badly made robot. I think she's been through trauma, involved in these rituals, some kind of MK Ultra thing, and that's why she's so weird, and that's probably why she's got such rotten teeth, because I think it's some complex they develop when they're really traumatized and tortured or unhappy as a child, that they eat too many sweets or something to comfort themselves, or maybe they don't brush their teeth because they've got some kind of problem with personal hygiene. It's a kind of complex that develops from extreme trauma. I mean, it's just not natural to let your teeth get that bad. But anyway, she's had her teeth done now, and about a year ago, I think, if I can work it out from the photos. Either that or there's two of her. But she's a kind of weird woman, robotic and unnatural, awkward and difficult to watch. I'd say she's grown up doing horrible things out there in the woods, and that's why she was picked for this role. I mean, who becomes an executive in their first job, no work experience, the very year they graduate from university? I mean, within months, you're given a job as an executive of a spy company. Well, I'm going to leave it there, folks. There isn't time to say everything I want to say. It's already 20 odd minutes. So let's take a break. I'll make a part 2 and I'll go a bit more into it. Thanks for watching.